What up, guys? Welcome to episode 87 of Fresh Off the Mats here with the Jiu-Jitsu Joes. Thanks for setting my bench up.
I wasn't
wrong,
ready.
you
You
hoe.
didn't ask, hey, you good? I'm still getting
No.
the timer. Like, I'm this
You
man.
should have been ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready for the weekend. We competing on Saturday. You're not competing, but you should be competing on Saturday.
Yeah, well,
You should be.
I should. I started realizing that like about a week or two ago.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, I should have.
Take my spot.
No.
Yeah. So I could eat whatever I want.
No, because that would also mean I would have had to register at the higher weight too.
Yeah.
Which is not a problem, but
Listen, you taking one off is not the end of the world. Oh, good thing I have my mic.
Yeah.
Come on, you hoe.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know. You touched it, maybe. What? Oh, fuck. I had a topic, and I just fucking forgot it. I literally been thinking about this topic, and I just forgot it. I'm so mad at myself. I had a topic from yesterday.
It's fucking. I can't help you there, dude.
I literally had a topic that I was like,
You
oh,
know
this
what-
is a good one
you
to
know
bring
what
up on
would
the
help?
show.
You know what would help?
Huh.
We discuss topics. I could put it in a note.
Nope.
And we would know.
No, because sometimes it's nice when you bring up a topic I'm not ready for and we just have a good back and forth about it. Because then the problem is when you say a topic, then you it's only human nature. You're going to start prepping for your answers for the topic.
No, not if I just say, hey,
No.
look, this is something to think about.
And then I'm going to think about it and prep answers. It's
That's
more
fine.
organic when we just fucking say things like bologna. Do you like bologna? I fucking hate bologna. I ate so much bologna as a kid. I hate it
Same.
now.
So,
Yeah, as
I
a
have
kid.
story about
Bro.
bologna.
Were you ever a ham person? I hated ham. My sister would
Only
eat
with
ham.
like a sandwich, but I would never like go out and buy it myself.
No, when we got cold cuts at the deli, I would always say to get bologna. I hated ham. Ham
So
for
I
me
didn't
was like so
bologna
weird.
either. It was just like that was a cheaper meat.
I loved
That was
bologna. And my favorite thing was when you would bite into it and the bread and the bologna would get stuck to the roof of your mouth. I always thought that was the coolest thing. I don't know why.
You're a weird kid.
I was fucking weird.
What the fuck? So my mom, we went shopping one day and we needed food, and she sent me to go get bologna. So I'm looking at all the fucking cold cuts. I didn't know how to spell bologna.
I didn't know how to spell bologna
So-
up until a couple of years
Bro,
ago.
I'm looking at this wall. I see turkey, I see chicken, I see ham,
Bologna.
bologna. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, fucking bologna at? I run back. I was like, Ma, I don't think they have bologna. She goes, that's weird. Go check again. You probably missed it. Run back. I'm looking at this fucking wall, bro. I was like, there is no fucking bologna. And so I grabbed the thing that starts with a B because I was like, all right, maybe like this is close to it, right? I grabbed it. I was like, Ma, they don't have bologna. They have bologna. She was like, what? I was like, bologna. They got bologna. I'm saying this to her. She goes, say that again.
How old were you?
I think I was like eight or
Oh,
nine, maybe
fuck,
like
that's-
8 or 9 years old.
See, at that age, it's funny. At
Yeah.
that age,
Yeah,
but
no,
dude-
it wasn't at the age where it's like she looks at me like you are a complete disappointment.
like once you hit teenager, you're fucking retarded. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I knew how to spell bologna until I was in my 20s.
Are you serious?
I really think it was not until my 20s I was like, there's a fucking, what the hell? There's a G in bologna?
Bologna, bro. Yo, my mom just looked. She goes, "It's fucking bologna." I was like, okay.
I had an English teacher one time bring up the fact that that Lil Wayne song where it's like, move silent like G's in lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a teacher who would bring that up constantly in English class. Like that was their new favorite song.
Oh.
He was like one of those young hip teachers and would just bring up that song and be like,
This shit's
guys,
weird.
think of Lil Wayne. Move in silence like G's like lasagna.
No, I had a teacher. She was actually one of my favorite English teachers. This lady, like she would teach us what we needed to, like curriculum wise and all that, like when we would test. But she would also like one of the things I remember is like we walked into class one day, and like one of the kids in the back, he's just like sitting there rapping to himself, right? He's like in the back room, just rapping to himself. Class hasn't started yet. He's sitting there, he's not disturbing anything. She's just sitting there listening to him, and then she would always have like the lessons planned up on the board, so we would sit down, we would understand what to do, and like get our books ready and all.
Mhm.
And she's sitting there listening, and by this time, like a bunch of us already walked in. We're talking, but you hear him going right, and because he's also like setting up his own beat, right? And she's just like, "Hey, class, we're changing everything we're doing," because she heard a few words he said that were slang words, and she just erases the whole board. And she goes, "I want everyone here to start telling me slang that they know." no matter where it's from.
This could go
And
really sideways.
It could have, but everyone went really well with it, and like just said certain things, like saying a whip for your car, or like a hoopty for a bad car, right?
Mhm.
So like little things like that. So nothing crazy. It's because she did tell us like, hey, like I'm not trying to do anything wild.
That is pretty cool though.
And so she did that to break down like how evolved the English language is outside of just a textbook.
Yeah.
Because, and then this is what really blew me away, is she reverted all back to what the original lesson plan was, which was poetry, right? Going over poetry. And then it went back into, I forget the actual poet's name. It was a female who, she wore all white, locked herself in a house, and like people would deliver food to her. Like I forget what her name is.
Oh, those extreme people
But
freak me out.
yeah, she was from Boston, and she was hated when she was alive because people said she wasn't a real poet. She wasn't good because of the words she would say.
Mhm.
But then when you add in a Boston accent, the words rhyme and they start changing.
Isn't that crazy that like, so like, that's an insane thing about rap where like certain words you say don't rhyme with other words, but the way you say it with inflection,
Yes.
or the way you like draw out an A at the end,
Yeah.
or the way you say things could make it rhyme with other words.
It'll make it flow.
I think that's the art in it, is how can you find a way for it to rhyme? Not just saying
so
like
that is
being in a pool is cool,
Yeah.
like basic shit.
And that's why that's just
Yeah.
called like that's just like nothing rap, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not rap. People hear that and they're like, oh, I can make words rhyme. It's like that's not what they're doing.
Yeah.
One, they're staying with a beat, which is already hard, and that's why you can easily make fun of people at like a dance party off beat and they're just, it's just like, yeah, you can't even stay with a beat. They're rhyming, but then if you hear like there's a good rapper who's really good at it, if you look at it in a certain sense, his name is JID or Jid, right?
Is that the famous guy on TikTok? The guy who he gets on the webcam with random people and he says, "Give me 4 words."
No. That's Harry Mack. Harry Mack is also really good.
Yeah.
He's able to just come up with a rap off the top.
They give him like 4 words and he like makes a rap and implements all 4 words in
Within
the
that, yeah.
holy
He's
fuck.
really
That was
good.
so
That's why
impressive.
I love the rule where they say the rule number 1, never skip a Harry Mack video.
Yeah.
But JID, he does something called alliteration. You remember what alliteration is?
Is that like pow, boom? Is that alliteration?
No, alliteration is where every word will start with the same letter.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's very good at that. And that, like, the reason why I love it is because it always reminds me back to my English teacher,
Mhm.
where she's saying, like, she hates that people would always hate on rap because people would be like, oh, it's not art just because of what they talk about. One, she brought up rock music too, showed all the ones that talk about sex, drugs, and all that.
It's like
And
all
then
of them.
She talked about country, showed all the ones about sex and drugs. She was like, you guys just don't like how they're saying it because they do curse a lot more.
Yeah.
But environments also play a part. But every time I listen to Jid, I remember my teacher talking about how like rappers use poetry in their own raps, and that's what reminds me of it. So it was a really cool lesson, and like I said, it stuck to me since I think I took her in like 2011.
I think
13 years later, and I still remember the lesson.
I think you know when like people say like, oh, teachers aren't paid enough, I do believe that like teachers aren't paid enough. I think like it's a very like, you get into that profession knowing you're going to be at a deficit for a while. However, there are such standout teachers and such teachers that just fade into the background. Like I'll never forget my science teacher, John Como. He was like, I think he was in the Marines. He was a Marine guy. And bro, this guy just made science fun. Like, think about it. You would think like, oh, this guy's a former Marine. He's going to be a hard ass. And he was a hard ass in the aspect of like, if you didn't get homework done or you were goofing off, he would yell. Like he would bring out the Marine voice.
He expected performance.
But he made science and like learning about the periodic table so much fun. Like he knew how to teach. Bro, and to this day, I still think about when he gets mad because he used to do this thing where he would clench his jaw really fast and it would pulsate here. And bro, I don't know why this thing stuck with me for like my whole life. Like he was so cool. And then like
my 4th grade teacher, Mr. Trevina, big ass nose, and it was red. That's what I remember about this dude. And when he would get mad, his whole face would turn red.
Yeah.
And that shit used to make me laugh so hard as a kid because I was a troublemaker little kid. And I was off the
I wonder if he's still alive. I mean, he's got to be still alive. He was in his 40s when he taught me. And that was not that long ago.
Was it high school?
Yeah, high school. And then like another teacher I remember was Mr. Portuguese. And this guy was a forensics teacher. And I loved forensic science growing up.
Forensics as a high school student?
Yeah, they offered it to you. They offered it as a junior class, like your 3rd year. Yeah. And I loved it so much that I gave up my free period to take it the 2nd year.
Nice.
And he was like, why are you taking my class again? I was like, because I really enjoyed the class. And I told him, I was like, I want to get into forensic science. Like, that's why I got my degree and was in criminal justice. I was like, I really just enjoy your class. So I gave up having free period as a senior in order to take forensics again.
Yeah.
And bro, it was so much fun. It was such a good time.
Why did you pursue that?
Bro, I did. I got my associates and my bachelor's is in criminal justice. I was going to go into forensics. The thing is, at the time, this was back in 2013, 14. Even back then, cops that were friends of mine, because I had a lot of older friends, they were like, dude, don't become a cop. Because in order to get into forensics as a field, like you either have to get your doctorate and go in through the science route, or you have to become a cop with an associate's or bachelor's and then work your way towards it. And I wasn't going to go and get my doctorate and spend more time in college. And back then, my friends that were cops were like, it's terrible to be a cop in New York.
Especially New York cops, dude.
But this was back in 14. We're not even talking about now how it's fucking the worst job. And I don't know. I moved to Florida after I graduated college. I found Fabio, and it's been a love story ever since.
Whole different route.
Yeah, but then you also have teachers that you remember for bad things, like Mr. Sowitz. He's behind bars right now. Yeah, he had
kids.
He had kiddie porn on his. He was our middle school Spanish teacher, and he was always like a flamboyant like Spanish guy. And bro, it came out years later that he had kiddie porn on his computer. He was arrested. I'm pretty sure he's still in prison.
Probably.
Gotta be. Yeah, this Mr. Sowitz. Hope you're listening to us from prison. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Stupid bitch. Yeah, he was always weird, but you never could pinpoint why he was weird. Now it makes sense why he's weird.
It makes weird. Like you look back and you're like, yeah, he was like it. Like we had
our theater teacher in high school. He got in trouble for cornering a chick and groping her. His name was Cropa, Mr. Cropa.
Mr. Groper.
Yes, it literally became the joke. Like, don't go in the basement of the theater. Croper the Groper is down there.
Croper the Groper.
Bro, Bethpage High School is wildin', bro. They were hiring a bunch of pedophiles in there, dude.
Croper the Groper.
Croper the Groper.
That's crazy. See, like that's also that changes it to the whole like homeschooling thing. Like I can start now seeing like why the attraction of homeschooling is there.
There's so many pros and cons, but I really feel like the stigma of like, bro, kids who are homeschooled, like you have to make it an effort to then make sure that they associate with the outside world.
I think back then homeschool was different because nowadays, like especially since COVID happened, I think there's a whole different shift.
But there's also a generation of kids that like they're developmentally behind and they're socially awkward because of that.
But also back then, like it was harder for these kids to like get into sports. And so I know like when I was in high school,
you could set them up.
There was 3 or 4 kids. Like no one knew who they were. They just jumped into our team.
The sports,
and we were like, who are you guys? And they're like, oh, we're homeschoolers.
Yeah.
And it was very weird.
But I feel like you have to do that a lot. Like you can't just do that for a sport where they're practicing 1 or 2 hours a day. You have to go out of your way to make sure that they socialize even more.
Especially because what I hear from a lot of homeschool parents is like they say like our school day is done in like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like they're like, we learned what we needed to. We're on pace. And a lot of them always say, bro, the homeschool kids were fucking geniuses.
I'm not saying they're not smart. No, I'm not saying they're not learning. But I've noticed that a lot of time, 95% of the time when I meet a homeschool kid, this is how.
You can tell immediately almost.
Hey, nice to meet you, bye. Hi, how are you? Like, it's always neglecting eye contact, looking up or down. They're socially awkward. Again, not all of them, but a majority of them are socially awkward and they don't know how to talk to people who are outside their family because that's all they know. Yeah. So when you make the decision, I'm going to homeschool my kid, that's fine. But you have to go out of your way to make sure that they got to associate with the outside world.
And put them in, and like, if you're going to put them in a coaching sport, obviously, like any sport, you have a coach. Like, let the coach be the one to run it so that they're not just looking at their parent for all.
Yeah.
Like leadership roles.
Anything.
Manager role, like anything like that. But like,
they got to be able to talk to an adult who's not mom and dad.
Let someone else be in charge so that they can realize, like, okay, it's not just parents. And I have to try to learn how to adapt to everyone. Yeah. Because that was the big thing when these kids came to us when they were homeschooled, is one, like, we're high schoolers, dude. We're cursing like crazy and all that. They were so shocked and like blown away by that.
We curse.
And that it was cursing and then just like the shit talking and just like how we associated with each other, you can see it was very awkward for them. I think like 2 of them ended up like pulling out because they just felt so weird about it. The other 2 stayed, and they thrived on our teams and things like that.
But here's the thing.
You can see where it hits them because
but that's impacting them for the rest of their lives. Because even if it's in a setting of a sport, they feel uncomfortable with people cursing. What are you going to do when you get a job in the real world? And you work at a steel mill, or you work at an auto body shop,
you can't work at
and
a restaurant.
People are cursing. What is dating life like? Because think about when you're like, when I was like 14, I'm like, pussy, I want pussy, I want to fuck, I want to do what everybody's talking about. You see it in movies, I'm like, I want to fuck. 69, you just want, bro, you just want to, your dick is raging, bro. 13 years old, I was like, oh my God, masturbation is the best, blah, blah, blah. You want to have sex, bro. So what do you do when you're home and it's mom and dad and siblings, and you're like, I got this raging boner. What do I do about this?
Have you seen that it's a skit about that? It's about homeschool kids. And so it's like these parents are like, oh yeah, we homeschool Jimmy.
This is how stepmom and stepbro and stepsis porn came around.
The whole skit, this one was so funny, bro. It was just like, we're exposing him to everything that they would get in public school, so we're not concerned about everything.
I did see this.
The bullying.
I did see this.
Oh yeah, he gets bullied. He walks down the stairs. The father just slams the books down, pushes them, and then the mom is at the bottom. Yeah, get fucked, nerd. I was like, what the fuck?
I did see this.
Or when it was like the mom going in for a kiss.
Yeah.
And then the dad like opens up a door or something. He's like, ha, look at you, loser. And it just starts making, I was like, what the fuck? So they're not giving him just the public school experience. They're just like, no, you're just going to get bullied by your parents. That kid would have confusion and that kid will need therapy because he's like, I don't know who to go to anymore.
I just think the cons outweigh the pros of homeschool. I think homeschool. I think it's really good and it can be done right, but I think you're on a tightrope. Like if you fuck up a little bit, you're gonna fuck this kid up for the rest of his life. Well, bro,
you can't keep him isolated.
You can't simulate dating. Yeah. You can't simulate engaging with kids his age for 8 hours a day.
Because like that is a big part of school. Like no matter what, like school's for learning. Shut the fuck up.
But it's a community.
You're in a social setting for 8 hours a day. Yeah, you're in a social setting for 8 hours a day. They're gonna fucking do other things outside of just study. Like get the fuck over it. That's right. School is to learn to be a person.
Dude,
you get an education, but you're also learning how to associate with other people, how to interact with different groups. Because what, dude? The goths, the nerds, the geeks, the jocks, the fucking.
That's how you learn to deal with all types of people in real life.
Like that, it's a big part. Yeah. So I'm a big proponent.
Think about if you're homeschooled and you've never interacted with a goth kid before.
So did you know that there's two? You're able to do. Like a hybrid program.
Danielle was telling me about that. There's hybrid schools.
Yeah, you can be homeschooled for like 3 days of the week or something like that, and then go to school for 2 days. And it's the 2 days would just be to make sure. But then,
what happens if in those 2 days you're getting bullied because they're like, "How come you're homeschooled 3 days out of the week? How come you're not here with us?"
Really? Like, I mean, that's kind of the reality of the situation. Like, because if they're there 5 days a week, they might get bullied. Like, so if you look at that,
and trust me, as somebody who doesn't believe that what they're teaching in school about pronouns and all this stuff. I feel like it's a good thing to homeschool your kids.
They don't. Also, the pro I see is like,
I see the pro, the education, but I think it's tricky. I don't think anybody's right or wrong. I think it's just a very tricky situation.
Because when people complain about the pronoun thing, not saying that that's wrong, because then if you go far right on the other side and you're like, fuck all those people, right?
Yeah, of course.
And now it's like, now you're just influencing. You can influence hate into your kids now.
I get it. Like, I think it's just such a tricky tightrope, and it's like I rather just stick with what I know. Pretty much works. Like, even though it's not perfect. I mean, our government's not perfect and we stick with it because it pretty much works 85% of the time. 75. Yeah, whatever the case may be. But think about me having to teach kids math. Hey, you're the teacher.
I wonder, bro.
Get fucked, bro. I'm not teaching you this shit. First of all, they don't even teach math the same way when we were growing up. Now it's fucking Common Core. If Johnny has 73 apples, you take away 4 how many he has. I'm going to jump up and be like, 69. Bro, a teacher's not going to do it. A teacher's going to be proper about 69. Me, I'm going to be giggling like, you saw what happened there?
You should
69. I should never homeschool a kid. Never. Bro, they're going to be saying bro in English all the time. Dude, bro. That's their pronouns, dude, bro.
She doesn't like that, right?
Yeah, dude. I can't control it. I am who I am.
See, that's also my issue is I got a mouth on me, bro. I curse.
That's what I'm saying. But I shouldn't be the role model as a teacher, bro.
I love the way my buddy raises his kid. So my buddy curses a lot, right?
Yeah.
His wife doesn't, right? And he has his daughter there.
I mean, we curse in front of the boys all the time.
And so his daughter went up to, it's because her dad, so my buddy says to her all the time, like, hey, you can curse. You don't, just like the conversation we were having.
Yeah.
You just can't curse at us.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how my parents were. Just don't curse at us, but you can curse.
Don't curse at teachers. Don't curse at us. Like, basically, respect people who are older, right? You just watch your mouth around them. He was just like, I don't care.
And if you slip up, you're going to get in trouble.
And that's it. He was just like, you're going to learn the consequence if you do, but he's like, I don't care about cursing. Yeah. I curse because it's part of our language. You'll learn how to associate it. And this girl, she's right, young, told him, I want to be like mommy though, because his mom, his wife doesn't curse at all.
Yeah.
No cursing whatsoever. It's just like it's out of choice.
If you make things taboo for kids, they want to do it.
They're going to want to do it. And so that was his
approach. If you go shit and then you're like, oh shit. And then they're like, is that a word I shouldn't say?
Yeah, now it's entertaining to them. Yeah. But if it's just because she hears us.
Have you seen the videos online where the parents put their phone in the bathroom and they put their kid and they say, hey, mommy and daddy not listening. You could say whatever you want here. If you want to curse, get out whatever you want, say whatever you want. And they leave and they close the door. And the little girl's like, really not listening? Shit. God damn, dude. Fuck. That's crazy. Like, just start saying conversational stuff. Dude. It's the funniest thing, dude.
When I first started cursing, I think I was in third grade. I want to say.
How old are you in third grade? I don't even know.
You're 5 in kindergarten, so 6.
7,
8.
Yeah.
So around 8 years old.
The boys sing along to songs in the car all the time. Yeah. They curse all the time. Yeah, so they know that if they're singing a song, it's not a big deal.
Like I tell my mom all the time, like she gets so mad that my sister and I curse. I'm like, we grew up with you. You cursed all the time. Yeah. Like it's how it is. So we curse, but it's not, again, like I'm not directing it out unless someone pisses me off and tries to talk shit to me. Then
then I direct it.
But especially also going through the Marine
Corps. Bro, we use bitch as a pronoun here.
Yeah.
What's up, bitch? Yeah, we call everyone Fabio. What's up, bitches? Like,
what's up, lesbians?
What's up, lesbians?
That shit's so funny to me.
Bro, it's a term of endearment here. If you're not called a bitch in this gym, bro, they don't like you. Like,
it's only strictly your name.
Yeah. We're gonna keep bro, if we call you by your government name, if it's not, what up, bitch? How's everything?
Like, we don't know you that well. We want to make sure like we can cross that line.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing with cursing, man. It's not even. I don't know. It's to me, it's such a.
Let your kids curse. Don't make it taboo. The second you make it taboo, then they don't do it around you. They do it in public to other people. And
yeah, because it's like, dude, that was it. Because when I first started cursing, I remember like I was in the park. It was like a big playground, and it was right down the street at the Village, and they had this huge fucking playground area. And I remember I was like, all the kids are running, and I see the teacher like far off. I was like, shit. Fuck. And I'm just looking around. I was like, damn it. And I figured out, oh, bitch, cunt. I was just sitting there saying these words. And I was
like, who's the kid with Tourette's?
And no one's around. So I'm so happy that I'm getting these words out. I was like, oh, I don't get in trouble just for saying it. I can't say it around people.
Because I think when you're super little, you think like if you say it, like someone just comes out of nowhere.
So when I started testing it, I was like, I'm good. And I'll never forget, because then I started cursing around my cousins, and like it was a big thing for all of us to be like, just
bro, look up videos of kids in the bathroom cursing. Parents just set up the phone, and it's funny. It's fucking entertaining. The things kids will say, because they're like, bitch. And they're like,
because you can tell like a kid cursing because they just fucking they combine words.
The best is this one little girl. You could tell she says it just the way her mom says it. Like she's like, "Oh damn!" Like she does it. Like she says it the way she's heard it. She puts the it's funny.
So I saw a compilation yesterday. It was like videos of just kids cursing.
Yeah.
It was like little ones, like little babies.
I sent it to you.
Oh yeah, is that it?
Yeah, that was you said. No, that wasn't the one I'm talking about.
But you said that video. That video had me down.
How good
I
was
listened
that?
To that like twice. Because like the baby ones was what got me. Like the little kids is whatever. The baby ones, like, because dude, their vocabulary.
So my favorite is not the kids. My favorite is the parents' reaction when they realize their kid, like shit. When they're like shit, and then the baby says shit, and he's like, oh fuck, I just said that. Now he's saying it.
You're like the parent says it first, but that's one of the kids who did say shit, because dad was like shit, the kid, shit. Like damn it, just learned a new word.
You gotta be careful. They're always listening.
Yeah, Mac and I like talk about it all the time, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fucked." And she was like, "Wow." I was like, "Well, we have a kid. It's gonna be some of its first words. It's gonna be curse words. It's gonna be walking around town just saying fuck." Like,
I think you just gotta let it happen. I think if you emphasize too much on trying to censor yourself,
if your kid falls, don't react to it.
No.
All right,
No.
you fell, dude, get up.
Yeah.
Like, if you start being like, oh my God, Johnny, then they start crying. And it's just like, all right, well.
Guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come to us for all your parenting advice. We'll give you A-list parenting advice.
Because I ain't got no kids, and I'm the best one to listen
and
to,
we
bro.
we gonna give you top-notch advice. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And that's all.